In the ruthless world of outlaw motorcycle gangs, rising to the top is a deadly game. How did a tough kid become the feared president of the Comancheros? Join us as we dive into the gritty world of outlaw motorcycle gangs and uncover the fierce battles and strategic moves that defined Mick Murray's rise to power. The early years. Mick Murray wasn't born into the harsh world of outlaw bikers. He carved his path into it, starting from the rugged streets of Melbourne's working-class neighborhoods. Growing up, Mick was a natural-born fighter, not by choice, but by necessity. In a community where the weak were easy targets, Mick quickly learned to stand his ground, revealing early signs of the toughness and leadership that would define his later life. The streets taught Mick more than just how to throw a punch. They instilled in him a sharp sense of loyalty and the importance of reputation, traits that would later catch the eyes of the Comancheros. His entry into one of Australia's most formidable motorcycle gangs was almost inevitable. A friend, deeply involved with the Comancheros, saw Mick's potential and brought him into the fold during his late teens. It wasn't long before Mick, with his imposing frame and fearless demeanor, began to take on significant roles within the gang. His first tasks were simple, yet crucial, securing gang territories and participating in minor skirmishes that tested his mettle. However, Mick's natural charisma and knack for strategic thinking quickly propelled him from a mere participant to a planner of operations. He wasn't just another muscle-bound enforcer. Mick had a vision for the Comancheros that resonated with the higher-ups. Even in those early days, it was clear Mick was not just part of the gang. He was a force waiting to take over, a storm brewing on the horizon, destined to lead and redefine the Comancheros' place in the underworld. Rise through the ranks. As Mick Murray's stature within the Comancheros grew, so did the challenges he faced. Law enforcement was tightening the noose around motorcycle gangs, and rival groups were always lurking, ready to challenge the Comancheros' dominance. Mick's ability to navigate this precarious underworld was not just about brawn. It required a cunning mind and a strategic approach to leadership. One key moment that defined Mick's ascent came during a heated turf war with a rival gang. When negotiations broke down, it was Mick who orchestrated a midnight rendezvous that turned the tables. Under the cloak of darkness, Mick and his crew set up a clever ambush that not only thwarted the rival gang's plans, but also solidified his reputation as a tactical genius. His actions weren't just about displaying raw power, they were about showcasing strategic depth, earning him both respect and fear. Another pivotal episode occurred when internal strife threatened to splinter the Comancheros. Disagreements over territory and profits were common, but Mick's approach was unique. Instead of resorting to violence, he arranged a series of face-to-face meetings with dissenting members. These encounters, though intense, helped forge stronger bonds and a better understanding within the gang. His ability to handle these disputes not only maintained unity, but also demonstrated his leadership capabilities. These moments were often recounted by fellow bikers and even dramatized in popular media, depicting Mick as a man who could outthink his opponents and maneuver through chaos with unmatched grace. Through strategic mastery and sheer determination, Mick wasn't just rising through the ranks, he was transforming the very nature of leadership within the outlaw biker community. At the helm, Mick Murray's ascent to the presidency of the Comancheros marked a seismic shift in the power dynamics of Australia's biker underworld. When he took the helm, the gang was at a crossroads, plagued by internal conflicts and external threats. Mick's leadership was the turning point, bringing a new era of both ambition and methodical governance that resonated throughout the gang's ranks. Under Mick's rule, the Comancheros expanded beyond traditional rackets into more sophisticated, semi-legal enterprises. He spearheaded the opening of several gyms and tattoo parlors that not only served as profitable ventures, but also as fronts for the gang's less savory operations. These establishments, named Nitro Gym and Inked Brotherhood, became community staples, masking the underlying network of illicit activities with a veneer of legitimacy. Mick's strategic diversification solidified the gang's financial base, and extended its influence into the everyday lives of ordinary citizens. However, Mick's aggressive expansion and increasing visibility did not go unnoticed. But with great power comes great enemies, both inside and outside the gang. As the Comancheros flourished, so did the scrutiny from law enforcement agencies. Simultaneously, rivals within the gang viewed his growing power with suspicion and envy. Mick had to navigate not only the external pressures from police and rival gangs, but also the internal dissent that threatened to undermine his authority. This tension set the stage for a dramatic saga of loyalty, betrayal, and survival in the brutal world of outlaw motorcycle gangs, with Mick Murray at the center of the storm. The height of power. At the height of his power, Mick Murray transformed the Comancheros into a formidable force, not just in the biker world, but across the criminal underworld. His leadership era was marked by intense battles and strategic showdowns with rival gangs and persistent crackdowns by law enforcement. Through each conflict, Mick demonstrated a mix of raw courage and tactical prudence, always staying 2 steps ahead of both his enemies and the police. Mick's influence profoundly shaped the culture of the Comancheros. He introduced a code that blended traditional outlaw values with a strict regimen of loyalty and secrecy. Under his rule, the gang adopted a more corporate-like structure, which brought unprecedented discipline to their ranks. This new culture under Mick's leadership wasn't just about instilling fear, it was about fostering a brotherhood that commanded absolute loyalty. Personal anecdotes from those who rode by his side illustrate Mick's complex persona. One former member recounted how during a police raid, Mick calmly orchestrated a counter-surveillance operation that saved many of his brothers from arrest, showcasing his ability to remain composed under pressure. Another story tells of Mick's unexpected generosity, like the time he anonymously donated to a local charity, revealing a juxtaposition of ruthlessness and benevolence that left a lasting impression on his followers. These stories of Mick's strategic acumen and unexpected acts of kindness cemented his legendary status within the gang. His ability to navigate high-stakes situations and his dual nature of fear and loyalty not only elevated the Comancheros in the criminal hierarchy, but also deeply ingrained his legacy in the annals of Australia's biker culture. Downfall and legacy. Mick Murray's downfall was as dramatic as his rise, marked by legal battles that captured the nation's attention. His first major legal challenge came when a crackdown on organized crime targeted the operations he had so meticulously built. Arrests and trials became routine, and despite his strategic prowess, the law eventually caught up with him. Mick's stint in prison was a significant blow, not just to him personally, but to the entire structure of the Comancheros. It signaled a pivotal moment in the gang's history, highlighting the vulnerabilities of even the most powerful leaders. Mick's legacy, however, stretched far beyond his legal entanglements. Under his leadership, the Comancheros expanded their influence significantly, setting a blueprint for how biker gangs could operate within and beyond the law. His tenure introduced a level of sophistication in the operations of Australian biker gangs, combining legitimate business ventures with underground activities. This dual approach has since been emulated by other gangs, altering the landscape of biker culture across Australia. Reflecting on Mick Murray's story reveals a complex picture of power, loyalty, and crime. His rise and fall underscore the ephemeral nature of power within the criminal underworld. Mick's story is a testament to how loyalty can foster a mighty empire, but also how it can precipitate a steep downfall when the leader falls. It's a narrative that resonates not just within the biker community, but in the broader discourse on crime and punishment. Mick Murray's legacy is a cautionary tale of what happens when the pursuit of power overshadows the potential consequences, shaping discussions and reflections on the balance between leadership and morality in the shadowy corners of society. Mick's journey is a stark reminder of the thin line between power and downfall in the underworld. What do you think was Mick's greatest strength and his most critical mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of an outlaw legend, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more gripping stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep questioning the narratives laid before you.